Welcome to Egg Foo What, the first and only podcast about people eating stuff. My name is Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of Egg Foo What? My name, and I think this is the first time I'll have said it without being prompted, so Mike's going to be very proud of me.
Yeah.
I am Greg Wilson. Welcome to the show. How about that?
Very good. I appreciate it.
I'm not saying that's my Christmas gift to you. Although now that I think about it, it probably has to be. But
yes, this is our Christmas edition. We want to wish everybody. What was that?
Well, Christmas noises.
You brought some sound effects. Oh, good for you.
I was tapping a pen against the.
Very professional. I should have thought of something like that.
Well, you didn't. And
No.
now the fans have to suffer. Merry Christmas, fans. Mike hates you.
I know you had to be dragged from your bed. You're suffering under the. What do you got? Do you have the flu strain or?
No, I think what happened, and this isn't going to be my proudest moment. The other day, Monday, I got an Arby's roast beef because things are good.
Things are good. You treated yourself?
Treated myself.
Where do you go when things are bad?
Same, Arby's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like an alcoholic, with good, celebrating, not good, boom, Arby's. Now I got 2 sandwiches and ate one, and sometimes I forget I'm not 19 anymore. So I was like, I'll have the second one later. And I left it out, just sitting on the counter. And like 8 hours later, I go, oh, and I eat it. And then the next morning, I woke up like 4 in the morning. I feel like my body temperature is 180 degrees, which is, I don't know why I should have just said 200. And I puked my brains out.
Oh.
And since then, I've been okay. I've just been a little listless. I just haven't felt like eating, which I'm sure doesn't help. But but other than that, I'm fine. But
so the other Christmas gift we're giving ourselves this week is we're not going to eat anything. We didn't eat any Chinese takeout this week. This is like I said, a special Christmas edition of Egg Foo.
That's my gift to me.
And it's our gifts to each other. We decided that we don't need a dish this week, and I wholeheartedly agreed. And I feel a little better.
Didn't it go? I think I was like, yeah, I've been really sick. You were like, chicken and broccoli tonight.
Well, I kept it easy. That's a simple dish. I was thinking of you like chicken soup. This is the Chinese equivalent of chicken soup.
I was like, wow.
Chicken with broccoli.
I love my Chinese food, but I don't know if it's what you want to think about when you're not when your gut's a little bit not at 100%.
Even though chicken soup is readily available at your Chinese takeout.
Yeah, sure.
People should remember that. Chicken noodle soup.
I like your professionalism, though. I don't want to hear it.
Keep bringing it back to the food.
But so then we decided, you know what? Let's just have a nice non-eating kind of Christmas celebration, holiday, little bit of reflection, send off for the what I think what's been a big year. I say for the two of us, but what the two of us do before this year. So other than I won't bring up our 2004 softball season.
Yeah. Yes, it's been a very good year for the podcast. I appreciate Greg coming through and having a good time with this so far. It could all go into the ditch tomorrow, but we're having fun. We're having fun now.
Why would you say tomorrow? We're not recording tomorrow. Well, you could say we can go into the ditch now.
My off microphone life is just this is a nice distraction, Greg, from my off mic life.
That's good.
The off mic life is a bit of a disaster for the last 2 years, but I try to stay on the sunny side. So I distract myself with podcasts and so on to distract myself. We all need our distractions, right?
That's life.
That's
just
life.
A series of distractions. Now, when you say off mic, are you trying to trademark a cool off mic, like off microphone, and off mic, like off mic list? Are you grooving something together here that I need to be hip to?
Well,
I can go along with it.
I'm sure the expression's been used before. I don't think I coined a new phrase, did I?
Hey, he's living that off mic life. You know what I'm saying?
Or off mic, Mike?
Well, I'm glad this brings you some happiness. It brings me happiness. And I dare say, I think it brings some folks out there a little bit of happiness.
Yeah, people seem to like it, which is great. You know, we try to keep it lighthearted, and I think people are responding.
You can't say my last 2 years have been terrible, but we try to keep it lighthearted. Is this the going off the rails you mentioned?
Speaking of going off the rails, I saw an article, you know, thinking of your health. Did you see that article about red dye number, what is it? Let me see. Red dye number 42, or what the hell's it? Red dye 40.
40. 42 I know about. What's 40?
Red 40 is an ingredient in one of your favorite foods, Doritos.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And they did
reacts violently with peanut butter.
They did a study on mice, and they found
mice agree with me.
Well, they agree with you if you're looking for gut inflammation, abdominal pain, bloating, diarrhea, dehydration, and bloody stool. Bloody stool. A bloody stool.
You were scratching all of my itches, Michael. Can I put all this on my Tinder profile?
Yeah. So
I should eat more Doritos? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you might want to reconsider. I don't know if the ranch version has less red dye. I would think maybe.
Reconsider. Wait, how much Doritos do you think I eat? So much that it affects inflammation in my body.
Well, you've been experimenting with them with other foods, peanut butter in particular. I mean, you know, God knows what else you do with them. I mean, do you wrap them up in cheese? You know, that might be something I'm not aware of yet. Maybe put a slice of ham on it.
Are you workshopping some new ideas here, Mike?
I'm just trying to think like Greg.
Well, I do have good news on the health front to close out this year. There's still 10 days in this year. I don't know why I keep saying it. I got my blood work back, and the number for gout you want your uric acid to be for gout people, or I'm sorry, for normal people is 6, and mine is below that, 4.8. So for uric acid.
Oh, that is good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken about 50 pounds of allopurinol coursing through my body over the last year, but it worked. So that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, between that and the Doritos thing, 2023 should be blast off for me. When did we start this? Was it April, June?
We started like in the summer, I believe.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, June, I think.
This is like a 25th episode. So yeah, I guess so.
27th.
We've only missed, I think, 1 week, right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. There was some technical issues we had. Then we had scheduling issues.
Yeah.
Between you and Jimmy Murphy. We could not get it together. That went on for 2 weeks. That was fun. Some of the fun off mic stuff that people aren't even aware of.
That was being the blooper reel, Mike. The
blooper reel, yeah.
The behind the music. The box set.
I saw you mocking the Yule log, which was an East Coast tradition for many years. Channel 11 used to just show a burning log in a fireplace and play Christmas music over it. You didn't have that where you grew up?
No, that is truly like a Long Island, New York thing.
Well, New Jersey. I mean,
New Jersey, yeah.
That is,
and I like it, but this particular one was like, crap, I'm not gonna be able to find it now, but
Well, it
like,
was going to be a podcast, which is, loses the appeal of looking at a burning log. So it's just going to
yeah,
be strictly the crackling log, I guess, if you're into that.
yeah, they were like
And
11 hours of Jersey people talking about Jersey stuff.
yeah.
Like, wow.
And then which the most incredible thing is they have open mics on different places in New Jersey.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, well, what can that be? I guess maybe they'll have a mic at Asbury Park. You'll hear the crashing waves, right? But maybe they'll have, mics in a Walmart parking lot where
Mhm.
people just are cursing each other out, screaming at each other. Maybe they'll have an open mic on streets in Bayonne where people yell from windows that you're blocking their driveway. Typical when I think Jersey sounds, that's what I think of, the profanity,
Mhm.
spewing at the drop of a hat.
Move your fucking truck.
Yeah, exactly. You cut them online at the bagel place.
Grooves.
Yeah.
Is that a Jersey thing? I don't know why I thought it was a Long Island. I'd never heard of it before I moved to Brooklyn, but is it more of a Jersey thing than a New York thing? Or
I think it's New Jersey, New York. It's it's a spillover. It's you leave New York, you don't leave that whole attitude. It's a couple miles away, New Jersey. So it carried over. So yeah, it's similar.
yeah,
You can't get away from it. But I think I'll tune into that just to see what sort of Jersey sounds they include.
yeah. I like the Yule log, but I don't need this Jersey thing shoved in my face. I mean, Jesus.
Come on. Don't you have your own version? I mean, Virginia used to have Virginia is for lovers. Is that still a thing?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's still a thing. Yeah.
that's not a that's not a Christmassy thing. Like, you don't enjoy it.
No, but it's state pride. Does Virginia have the similar state pride? I mean, we have Jersey strong, right? You're
Uh,
Jersey strong.
Virginia is the capital of the Confederacy. It's very proud of itself.
Still, right?
Although not Northern Virginia, not where I'm at. So that's not really fair. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Just
You're
just had to,
suffering. You're suffering for this show.
I just want to do, play the heroes, Limp,
Yeah.
Wilson limped
We,
on the field that day.
everyone can still hear that you are the true hero for coming through for this show.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
I'm recording this from the hospital.
Yeah, there's a nurse on standby in case things get worse.
Whatever it takes. I tell you what's funny though. I do have this just occurred to me the other day. I do have a warm and fuzzy memory for myself. It's kind of goofy, but my high school girlfriend and I, one Christmas, we were sitting around. Okay, making out. And the show called, it was around Christmas. This cartoon came on, Santa and was it Three Bears or Snow Bears? I don't know which one. And it was just this warm and fuzzy cartoon of like three bears that were told about Santa Claus and they want to wait up for him instead of hibernating, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And I'd always remembered every couple of Christmases I go, whatever happened to that movie? Was that, and I just never found it or whatever. And all of a sudden the other day it just popped up on TV and I watched it.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay.
So now we're back together. No. I just I got a kick out of that. That's pretty, it's been 100 years.
Yeah, all my stuff I remember, it's still there. The Peanuts, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
Peanuts.
Frosty. What do you mean Peanuts?
The Peanuts Christmas.
Yeah. The Peanuts Christmas.
Oh yeah.
They're still going strong.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, I don't think this one ever made the leap into like the canon. But at the time, she was like, "Oh, I used to watch this all the time when I was a little kid. And I'd never seen it before." And it just kind of became our thing. And you're in high school, so we're gonna be together forever, and we're in love, and we just invented love, and it never made the leap to the canon like the Peanuts or Christmas Story or any of that stuff. But just nice little memory. That's all.
Yeah. No, I was thinking for the show, to share some fond Christmas memories, and it's just certain things are just so like they seem like from another planet. I mean, I'm sure kids don't gather around like we did to go through the Sears Christmas catalog. That may not even been a thing for your generation. Does that?
As a young boy, the Sears catalog was definitely a thing for me, but not necessarily for Christmas shopping.
Okay, all right. I knew this could go sideways, and it did. Yeah, it went sideways right away. Yeah. Okay, yeah. The undergarment section, I believe you're referring to.
Whoa! I didn't say that.
Listen. Everybody knows.
Come on now.
Everybody knows.
Come on
But
now.
the Christmas catalog would come out, and we would gather around, like just 5 kids gathered around the catalog. Every page held a miracle. And then, of course, we had come up with the list. I think sometimes we would reference a page number.
Product number.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, is that what the kids
would be walking you through our order?
What is the current day version of that? The kids just like post links to Amazon.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, they
text their folks, their parents.
Well, they have links. Amazon wish list for one. I do know that.
Is there? Okay. All right. Well,
I've never really used one or looked at one because I finally realized a couple years ago, I've got my little kid empire that I'm nurturing to one day take care of me. All of a sudden I was like, what am I doing? Killing myself every December trying to find out what a 9-year-old girl would want for Christmas. All gift cards.
Yeah. Well, my niece and nephew are college age now. They're in college. So yeah, it was a nice little revival of the Christmas spirit when they were young. But I've been on the Christmas gift card for quite a while. When it became apparent that I'm not going to find anything that will be pleasing to them, so just give them cash.
Just give them cash.
Sometimes it's just cash. Yeah, I mean, it's not even a gift card.
I can't imagine that any of the gifts I gave these poor kids, they would not have. Of course, they're too nice to say stocks, but I'm pretty sure 100% rate would have rather have just gotten the cash.
Yeah, no, cash is king.
I would have, which I would as a kid too. Would I rather have gotten another pair of pajamas from my grandmother, or the $4?
Yeah.
So now, did you ever actually? So I didn't have any of that. We didn't have any gathering around and make demands from Santa. Did you ever ask for anything and actually get it for Christmas?
Yeah, I don't remember being so charged up over a specific thing. I mean, I remember Christmases being generally good times, not a source of disappointment. One of the memories I was thinking about, I grew up in a small bi-level house, 5 kids, 2 adults, so not a lot of spare room in the building. And so it was always a challenge for my mother because she was in charge of this. My father had nothing to do with my growing up.
Of course, generation drop.
Different generation.
Different generation.
And so she would have to come up with ways to hide the presents, right? That was a whole thing. And God bless her, she tried her best. Once we got savvy that Santa was a ruse.
Wait, whoa. Hold on now. You can't yell at me that this is a family show and then you blow the whole Santa deal on our audience, Mike.
So once we figured it out.
Wow.
Yeah, once we figured it out, it was like, all right, now where is she hiding this stuff this year? I mean, for a time we have like an attic space. I think that was really a pretty good spot because when we were real small, we couldn't get up there, and you had to put the ladder out so you would be noticed doing this. Then one year, so then as we got older, it became more difficult. One year and this was kind of looking back, kind of a disaster because we only have 1.5 baths in this house, And so she was going to lock up for the whole Christmas season the downstairs bathroom, which is just, a toilet.
But you know what? I grew up.
And she had like a key. There was a lock on the door, and it was a little lock. But the thing was that the lock, we could pick it with a bobby pin. It was not a complicated lock. So that was like probably the worst idea, because once she was upstairs out of the way, the mice will play. And we were free to roam. We picked that lock. There was a rifle game. It was a sort of, imagine like a shooting gallery, where you set up cans on this thing, and then you had a rifle with a little light beam that would come out of it. And underneath the cans, if the light beam struck it, the can would pop in the air. Like you got it. It was a good shot.
Right.
And it was a fun game. It was so fun that we broke it out and we're playing it.
Oh, sounds like me with my mother's apple pie that time.
We were playing this game for like a week or two before Christmas. And it must have been it made a lot of noise. We did it in another room. We did it in our utility room, right, where our furnace was and stuff. But it's right around the corner from the bathroom. And she could hear it clear as day, probably upstairs. But we were we thought we were really slick.
My mother would have said, "Oh, you want to play with guns? Want to be hotshot? Play with guns?" She would have marched us down to the Army recruiter right there.
Oh, there you go.
Guns?
Okay.
Want to be a big shot?
All right. Stern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, number one, I had 5 people in one bathroom. So when you say 1.5 baths, if both of them have toilets, I call those 2 bathrooms.
All right.
But to me, once the kids know there's no Santa Claus, and don't worry, we're gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, I'm not hiding toys. Here's $5. Knock yourself out. Fuck you. You've ruined Christmas. I hate you kids. But good for her for keeping the charade going.
Yeah. But then it can go too far. Sometimes my niece and nephew lived in a town where they had the fire truck that would go around with Santa. And my sister-in-law would arrange this every year. And what you do is you give Santa 2 gifts pre-visit, and then Santa knocks on the door and presents the gifts, right? It's nice when you're kids. But then my niece and nephew were getting older. And, I'm sitting there during this thing, and I'm like, wait a second, why are they wasting Santa's time here when, my niece and nephew are teenagers now?
I agree.
It was a little too much. The sentiment is fine, but you got to let it go at a certain point.
When did you find out there's no Santa?
I don't know. Probably
during this podcast.
The standard age. What is it? 10, 11 in there, 12.
Do you remember how you found out? Or?
No, not particularly. Yeah. I think it was not a revelation. Yeah. Not like when I found out where babies come from. Yeah, that's still in my mind. Yeah, I can still remember the day.
Well, they brought in live actors. I don't know. The 70s were a weird time. Not your fault, Mike. Different time in America. I don't remember either. I assume I was so young, because my older brother, he's like 1.5 years older than me, but he was born like 40 years old. So I think he instantly knew the idea of a Santa Claus was ridiculous. And so I'm sure he told me when I was old enough to understand what the hell he was talking about. Because then I had a younger brother. So by the time I was, he was born when I was 12. So by the time I was 12, which is old enough anyway for Santa Claus, but not only was I not pretending, but I was, helping to put crap under the tree overnight and everything. So
yeah,
I had a younger sister and brother. So, but I don't remember a specific lightning bolt or anything.
Did you put cookies out for Santa?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cookies out. Yeah. Just very.
Did you ever develop a taste for eggnog? This is a food show. Maybe we should get it into the Christmas foods area.
Yeah, I don't. The idea of eggnog just disgusts me. I've never even tried it.
Yeah, I think I tried it once, and yeah, it's like thick. I don't like thick fluids.
Yeah.
That's just me. It'd be like drinking gravy almost,
Hey, that's all right.
which you might have tried that, I think.
I think I have.
Did you ever try to eat an onion like an apple?
Only while pledging my fraternity.
Oh, really? That was one of the things you had to do.
That was one of the better things I had to do.
I was just gonna say, you probably enjoyed that part.
Yeah, that was much like, oh, thank God, a fucking break. What are other than Santa's cookies? Because we would just have our big Christmas meal, but it was pretty much the exact same as our Sunday meal. You know, the roast chicken and stuffing and potatoes and everything.
I think I've already alluded to my mother would do since we had the turkey, we were bored with turkey by Christmas, and she did a lasagna.
That's right.
You know, and that was spectacular. She would also make cookies. You know, she did the peanut butter cookie with the Hershey kiss in the middle of it. She did the oatmeal and raisin. She did like a what else did she do? Just your standard chocolate chip. But that was always a treat every year.
How do you do the cookie with the Hershey kiss without the kiss melting? Because
Yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
I imagine it just sort of goes on when it's done. When it's warm out of the oven, you kind of plop one in there, and then I guess the heat of the cookie will sort of bind it with
But
the
that's a tight
melting.
window. If you pull the cookies out a half second too late, then they're too cooked, they're too hard, and you won't be able to make a bit of an imprint to have it kind of meld together. With otherwise you pull it out too early.
Well, this is something I could probably research for the next episode.
I'm not that serious.
What about, I mean, the standard joke is fruitcakes.
Fruitcake, yeah.
Which is, it never became a thing in our house. I mean, I think, you'd see them show up as gifts, maybe from my grandmother.
Yeah.
And you try, like, what is this,
Yeah, I don't think I've ever known anybody who actually ate a fruitcake. Or part of it. Never. Yeah. If someone gets it, and they always make the joke, oh, it's the same one's been passed around, to every family free. But I never saw anybody even think about eating it.
I've seen people try to defend it, and I guess there is a way to make it without it.
Those people can go to hell, Mike.
Okay, well, I'm more open-minded. But it always came wrapped up in plastic, and it's like hard as a rock, and like what,
I assume this was a delicacy for Queen Victoria, but I mean, come on now. Yeah, we would just do the regular dinner, Sunday dinner kind of thing, and my mother would make peanut brittle. She liked that.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't remember any other real foods, but to tie this into Christmas and Chinese food, who loves Chinese food on Christmas?
Everybody.
Even better. Jewish people.
Yes, I've heard that. And actually, I mean, a couple Christmases ago, when my brother was sick, we did participate in the Christmas Eve Chinese takeout, and not bad. And the place was mobbed. I mean, I was aware that a lot of people, it's just like, let's get Chinese food. But I think
is the only family, non-Jewish family, that's ever eaten on Christmas Day at a Chinese restaurant.
Well, I broke the tradition. I snuck in there one year.
For years, I thought it was, the reason was because the Chinese don't really mix meat and cheese together, which I think is a Jewish thing, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's a dietary restriction. Yes.
But then I read an article once, and I think it's because they're just open on Christmas Day.
All right, yeah.
Not
They don't celebrate the same holidays, yes.
Not as exotic or
Yeah.
exciting as my theory,
But I think I actually saw a sign in one of the joints I go to that they were going to be closed on Christmas Eve, and that I was like, wow, okay. That's going to spoil some people's Christmases. They'll have to find another place.
great. You start changing the world one Chinese dish at a time, and that's when they start celebrating Christmas.
Uh-huh.
What's the best you ever got for Christmas?
Best gift?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't put a lot of, like I said, gifts. They're nice, you know. I think I've talked about, you know, when I was getting to be a little older as a kid, I started asking for records for Christmas. And I got the red and the blue Beatles compilations one year. That was a pretty good Christmas.
That's nice.
I mean, that kept me busy for months and months.
That's a great Christmas.
Yeah, it was, right?
The biggest one I remember, my brother got a 10-speed bike one year. That was the big one I remember from our youth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I got. It wasn't a 10-speed bike.
So you were, and it was too, the 10-speed could be too high for you to even ride, right? I mean, was it, would your legs reach the pedals?
Yeah.
Oh, you could. Oh, so
but
would he let you ride it?
I was big enough. I just didn't get one.
Right.
Yeah. No, he let me ride it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I got that year because
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that wouldn't have taken up our entire Christmas toy budget. I mean, I always joke about the last Christmas I really had as a kid, quote unquote, was a hairbrush and a bottle of English leather. So it's like you stink and your hair sucks. That was my goodbye to Santa Claus.
Now, my mother, as we got older, you know, it became sort of a in joke, was the socks and underwear every year, because yeah, we weren't getting typical Christmas gifts anymore. And then, but then when that disappeared, and now it's I sit there empty-handed. I'm like, I long for the socks and underwear.
Yeah, the older you get, the more
I pine for socks and underwear when I'm sitting there empty-handed.
Yeah, the older you get, the more it's like, you know what I could use? Some socks and underwear.
Yeah, it'd come in handy.
Yeah, no problems with that.
No.
Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Christmas movie is Oliver like a Christmas movie?
It's what?
Oliver. Does that happen during Christmas? Is there some Christmas scenes in that?
Is that Oliver Twist?
Yeah, you know, the musical.
Well,
I think I saw that when I was a kid. Maybe it just came out around Christmas.
Well,
for some reason I associate that movie with Christmas, and it's not the typical.
Anything by Dickens has it lends itself to Christmas very easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, they have made Christmas movies since 1968, but
yeah, I don't go looking for It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, I actually put that off for many years.
I never actually sat down and watched that until, I mean, definitely within the last 10 years. Which I know makes me a bad person, but I never really watched that until that recently. And I can't even say that's in my top 10 or that I really gave a shit about it, to be honest.
What's the one they show all day? Christmas Story? Yeah. Now that one I put off into my 40s, I think. I don't think I saw that until I was much older. And then I think it wasn't always a thing. I mean, people who knew the movie liked it, but it wasn't being shown on a marathon like it is now.
I bet it's been about 15 years since they started doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I bet would be shocked at how long it's been doing that.
Yeah, no, it's been doing it, but I mean, it came out what, in the 90s, the early 90s?
Well, it came out in '83,
Oh,
but
83, that early?
yeah, but like nobody really watched it. Nobody saw it until it started showing up on cable.
Uh-huh.
And then it just became I guess a cult classic kind of thing, whatever.
Yeah, between that and It's a Wonderful Life, that's it. There seems to be only two Christmas movies that demand our attention every year. I mean, I'm sure there's others being shown.
Love
Turner Classic.
Actually,
What's that?
Love Actually.
Love Actually. No, I've never seen that.
Kelsa Breeze. It has a lot of problems.
Okay.
I like it just because it has a great set of beloved English actors.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always said their gift to America should be doing a Christmas music every year for us.
Okay.
But maybe you're right. I hadn't thought about, is there a paucity of great Christmas movies? Which would be surprising, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm not really thinking of a bunch of them.
It's I think there is. I mean, Turner Classic Movies probably has a bunch on that I've never watched, and I don't go out of my way looking for the Christmas movie. I feel like I've covered that category. I've seen the classics, and I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm running down a list of the top 100. I'm just running down. Like Miracle on 34th Street. I'm not fucking watching that.
I've seen it. Yeah.
Yes.
Young Natalie Wood.
Easy. I mean, I know it's a
Don't make it
classic.
sleazy. Come on.
Hey,
Don't
hey,
make it sleazy.
Hey, family show.
I'm wholesome.
I've never seen, you just told every child in the world there's no Santa Claus. Shame on you. I've never seen The Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, I never saw that.
Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. I
yeah, we got to listen to that every year. Yeah.
I can't believe we're still having this fucking discussion.
Yeah.
Like even like, and this on the list, The Apartment. Do you think of that as a Christmas movie?
No.
I mean, if anything, if Christmas vaguely touches a movie, they just Christmas movie.
It's a Christmas movie. All right. Well, I recently listened to a Christmas album. Andrew Dice Clay's "The Day the Laughter Died."
I'll tell you what.
Have you ever listened to that? Have you ever listened to that?
Listened to it. I've heard about it for 100 years.
Oh my God.
But now that you mentioned it, I was doing a run through the other day. by doing a run through, I mean I was laying on my couch staring at a TV screen, watching a bunch of random old Saturday Night Live shows.
Okay.
I'm doing a bit of a thing, and it'll be up on Extra Time next week. Don't worry about it, or this week. Going through and showing people, because one of our national pastimes is talking about how back in the day SNL was incredible, and today it sucks. And I've been trying to tell, I think it's kind of the same. And my work has proven me to be absolutely 100% correct.
It's a radical theory.
Every episode, no matter what, first season, third, any episode, one or two good sketches, the rest absolute garbage or just okay, perfectly fine. There's a reason we see the exact same ones anytime there's a best of or whatever. Yeah, Bassomatic is great, but you got to sit through 30 of them to get to it. And like I was watching one the other day, and Adam Sandler rolls up on Weekend Update, and he does a song, and I'm like, well, it's not the Hanukkah song, it's not Lunch Lady. Those you hear all the time around Christmas, whatever. And this one, nothing. So, but I stumbled into the Andrew Dice Clay episode.
Okay.
And he was hysterical. I know that makes me a shitty person. I know I'm a bad man, not in a good way.
This was at the height of his popularity.
Absolute height. This is, I think, Christmas 1990.
Okay.
He's selling out Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Laura Dunn refused to be on the show.
Okay.
This and that. And okay, fine. I understand. You're a woman. He's grotesque.
Yeah.
But he was hysterical. It's on Peacock. Do you have Peacock?
Yeah, I do.
Go watch that episode. It's one of all the episodes I sat through working through my theory, that was probably the wall to wall funniest.
Okay, wow, that's a strong endorsement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to a fair amount. I mean, we're doing the Rubenesque, the Rick
Right.
Rubin podcast.
Yep.
And so I'm listening to this stuff. I mean, I saw the
That's
famous.
right.
Yeah, Rick Rubin, who was one of his his benefactors, his mentor.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, he was
I was wondering
there.
why you would. I'm like, does Mike listen to this album every year?
No, I'm being exposed to this for the first time now, which is, yeah. I mean, I remember seeing the HBO special and it was a big deal. I mean, I think a friend of mine is like, "Oh, you've got to see this," and it was a sensation, And I saw it and I was like, okay, he's doing his little rhymes and stuff. It was kind of dirty rhymes. It's kind of funny.
I did Dice for at least 6 months. The second I heard him, and I was like, I don't know, 15 or 16, that perfect age, especially back then when anytime you heard someone say the F word.
Well, that's it. It's shocking. Its shock value was immediate at the time.
I was at that perfect age to be like, oh my, and everything he said was hysterical. And back then, that whole New York, was so. Yeah. Oh, I did Dice for at least 6 months the second I saw it. Unbelievable.
Oh, too bad we don't have video footage of that. No videos of that.
Paparazzi probably got some. I don't know. It was the 80s. Yeah, this is peak Dice, and I mean, he just hissed. I mean, him and.
All right, I'll have to I'll check it out.
Dice Clay and John Lovitz on a TV screen together. Yes, please.
So yeah, I had to listen to The Day the Laughter Died, which.
Now, is that actually funny, or is it just?
No, it's sort of.
I know the legend is he was just going down with the ship and daring everybody to listen.
Well, he went in unannounced, and the people there had no idea he was going to be there. I think there was a sign outside of Carolyn's music. It was around the holidays, so it wasn't his audience.
Yeah,
it was just a random audience, and he seemed to be going through a catharsis because he was actually. I mean, I did see some of the Madison Square Garden footage, and it is bizarre. I mean, you've got people pumping their fists, and it's like he doesn't, all he has to do is say a word, and they're already like falling on themselves, laughing and pumping their fists. I mean, it's weird. It's it's bizarre. But
there were no casual Dice fans. Like,
yeah,
you were paying the $50 to go see him at the Garden.
Yeah, no, you were a fanatic, beyond fanatic, But so yeah, at a certain point, I guess he's like, what is this? Like even he questioned what was going on because they were reacting without there even being anything demanded of him, barely. And so what he does in this The Day the Laughter Died is just like sort of taunt them, that he's like literally trying to drive the audience out. And some people start leaving in the middle of the thing, and then they become the target as they're leaving. I mean, the whole thing is not creative in any sense. It was just crude. It's the crudest thing you'll ever hear, and it sort of makes human sexual relations the most disgusting thing you've ever heard of. To the point where I could see
sexual relations. I like this fine line you're dancing on. You're talking about Andrew Dice Clay, but you're talking about
I'm using scientific terms
on the E channel.
Just to describe how disgusting this thing is.
I gotta listen to it.
And it I didn't laugh once. I mean, it's the previous album, with his classic bits. The absurdity can get me sometimes, where he creates an absurd scenario.
Oh yeah.
And it's so over the top that you can't help but laugh. I recently saw him. He's out there still doing it, and
Oh.
He played in Manasquan, which is, you know, about 15 minutes from where I live. And so it's like I couldn't pass up the opportunity. And he played to about a half full theater, you know, probably holds about
When was this? You went to see him?
yeah, last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I went last year because it was, yeah, he was just playing nearby. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. You know, I need something to get out, you know, like I said, distractions. I look for these distractions.
Mhm.
So I went. I couldn't even get my friends to go. Really, they were just, you know, I tried, you know, it's like, hey, you know, I'll buy the tickets. No, they were totally uninterested. But so I went by myself, which is bizarre. I understand. But so I go and they had a warm-up act and she was very funny. I had a good laugh. I was actually sitting close enough. I could have been a target because he does like to work the crowd, you know.
Oh yeah.
I was in
A
about the
badge of
second,
honor, Mike Lisk.
you know, and I thought about it because at one point I was like a little further back, and then I saw like a single seat open up like in the second row. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go for it. So I sit down, and then I'm immediately as I sat down, I'm like, oh no, did I get too close? Am I going to be a target? But there was like
Hey
a
yo, who's the guy in the white hair in the second row? What
yeah,
is this? John McCain?
yeah.
Oh, thought he was dead. Ooh.
But he did go after a there was a parents and a son and his girlfriend right in front of me, and they became the targets. I mean, but it was, you know, it wasn't, you know, he's mellow, you know,
Well, yeah.
it's not the same act, and you know, it was funny. I had a good time, you know.
Well, I watched that. I can't believe you saw me a year ago. That's fantastic. But I saw the show he did a couple years ago, the sitcom. Was it on Showtime? It was
Oh yeah,
him.
yeah. Actually, Kevin Corrigan, who I've gotten to know through the Best Show,
Oh
is on that
yes,
show.
he was
Yeah,
on that. Yeah, he
yeah,
was, and that was a great. I loved it.
yeah. It was enjoyable. Yeah, very good
Did you
show.
watch it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Now I'm a sucker for, because I'm going in. I love Dice, but I'm a sucker for whenever someone like him in a show has these like real moments, like a, because you know it can always be the, hey, I do the fucking, I'm the Dice. Um, but I really love seeing his, you know, it's a scripted show. It's not a documentary. But I really enjoyed it. He was great. His wife in it was a smoke show. Natasha, that comedian,
Yeah,
Natasha
okay.
the Grown.
All right. Yeah,
I'm not
this
gonna say her
is
name right
keep it clean.
because I said his wife was a smoke show.
Yeah, well, I thought you were gonna elaborate.
Well, I can now that you
Okay.
brought it up.
I thought you were
Yeah,
gonna,
Kevin Corrigan was great. He was the best friend.
yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a
I
funny show.
yeah, I guess you know I'm sure it's not to everybody's taste,
Uh,
but hey, let's do a little dice renaissance for 23.
well, he was
Had his big comeback.
speaking of gifts, I was actually promoting a gift. He played at the Count Basie Theater in Red Bank on my birthday, just last November.
Mhm.
And again, with the same friends, I'm hinting, you know, hey, you know, Dice is playing at Count Basie. You know, it's close by. It'd be nice to go on my birthday. No, tickets never materialized.
Oh, I think you need new friends.
What's that?
I think you need new friends.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I'm the weirdo of the group,
That's right.
which
It's
is
funny. You don't really think of him
uh,
going around, you know, doing stand up today. He's so set in time, right?
mhm.
Um,
Well, he was out of the picture for a while. I mean, he did pay the price. I mean, his star fell pretty quickly. You know, the movie Ford Fairlane tanked, right? And that was kind of the beginning. And then the chorus of mockery began, and then yeah, he was out of the picture for a while.
wasn't he the doorman in a John Hughes movie? What was that, Valley Girl? Like
What, before he was famous?
before he was Dice.
Uh-huh.
He was in a movie as a doorman. I think it was.
Really? Okay, I'm unaware of that.
Well, I mean,
I mean, I knew he was
Pretty in Pink. He was
out in
Pretty in Pink.
California and he's trying to do different things.
Yeah, he was a bouncer in Pretty in Pink, and like he becomes friends with the John. Who's the,
Cusack.
no, who's the
I know. Yeah, the other
what's the
guy.
kid who loves Molly Ringwald? Can't even overpower.
Here's a shocker. I think I've seen like maybe one or two John Hughes movies. Two, I think.
Well,
I think I saw.
on one hand, yes, but don't take this the wrong way when I say that knowing you personally, that is not a shocker.
Which do you think I've seen?
You've seen one.
I've
Well,
seen two. I believe. Maybe three. Is Uncle Buck?
Okay, here we go.
Is Uncle Buck a John Hughes movie?
If it's not, you still get credit because it's as close to Uncle. You must have seen The Breakfast Club.
I did see The Breakfast Club, and that was the initial turnoff. I just really despise that movie.
Well, here's the problem. It was a little after your time.
Yeah,
right?
It was. So I was
high school
mature
movies.
enough to realize that these are all like stereotypes and corny stereotypes at that.
But you would have been young enough that the idea of watching a bunch of high school movies just wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Whereas to me, I was, these were older than me, so I was like, wow, they're the coolest. You're more liable to watch a silly high school movie now in your 50s or whatever than when you're 21. Because you're like, I'm not watching a high school movie, 21. Yeah. So I can see you kind of, not being too interested in all his stuff.
I was even, I mean, I think it's a great movie is Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Yep.
I was even late to that.
Oh,
I had to be coerced into watching that. I was just sort of on this anti-John Hughes thing.
But yeah, I can. Let me run through the ones I love. Mr. Mom, Vacation, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club. I never loved European Vacation. I don't think I knew he did Weird Science, but what young boy did not love Kelly LeBrock in that movie? Yes, Mike, I'll keep it clean. Pretty in Pink. And the one I don't like that everybody else loves is Ferris Bueller. That movie.
I still haven't seen that. I haven't seen that all the way through.
You're not missing anything.
No.
Some Kind of Wonderful. That's a great movie.
Uh-huh.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. The Great Outdoors. Wow, he did that too. Uncle Buck. Christmas Vacation. Great Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. So that's 12. I don't count Home Alone because that's a stupid movie. Career
Still haven't seen that.
What's that? I don't care about Home Alone. You don't need to watch it. Career Opportunities with Frank Whaley, the underused Frank Whaley. And his last great one, Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Put him out there.
I'm way behind with him.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think that genre is a little bit like the Smiths. Unless it hits you when you're like 15, it's hard to get to. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Okay.
It's hard.
It's an interesting comparison.
I'm not saying they're not good movies, but they do hit you different when you're either that age or slightly younger. So you kind of look up to these people. Like, wow, high school seems amazing. Whereas if you're 22, you're like, fuck these idiots. Whatever. Same thing with the Smiths. Nobody gets into the Smiths when they're 50.
I can never get into the Smiths. I bought exactly one 12-inch single from Bleecker Bob's. I heard about them. There's like a little bit of a buzz. The Smiths. What's the song? This Charming Man. Is it This Charming or That Charming Man? Which song is it?
Meet His Murder or whatever. How Soon Is Now? That's the big one. But yeah, I've always felt like if you miss them in your teens, you weren't going to get into the Smiths. That's kind of how. But yeah, let's add Christmas Vacation to the great Christmas movies. Did you see that? You've seen Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yes.
I am ready for the Andrew Dice Clay Renaissance. I am all in.
I gave you something to do over Christmas.
Nice.
I mean, there is I haven't listened to it yet, but there is a sequel to The Day the Laughter Died. So
Day after that laughter died?
it's, it's just called The Day After the Day the Laughter Died Part 2.
Oh, even better.
The first one is 147 minutes of pure raunch.
Hmm.
So if you haven't had your fill, then the other one's waiting for you, and I imagine it's more of the same.
Well, I was curious about it, but like I'm all for the experimentalness of it and this and that. But if it's not actually funny, then I don't feel the need to sit through it.
It's an endurance test. It was an endurance test because I wasn't laughing, and I'd be curious to hear your response to it, because it is, he was, I guess this was sort of a experimental thing he was doing, but I don't know, for some people, and supposedly, like, the one guy laughing in the background the whole time is Rick Rubin, and I think there may be. So I started listening to it. Yeah, that could be Rick Rubin back there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. I'm glad he did it. But yeah, I don't feel the need to listen to it.
Give it a taste. Christmas,
All right.
Christmas morn.
Hey.
Wake up.
Hey,
Wake
Mike
up.
List says, give it a taste. I dive in.
Give it a taste.
I'm first.
Christmas morn, a new tradition is born.
There you go. All right. I don't need to be told 9 times.
That
works.
Well, I think we've exhausted our Christmas extravaganza.
Well, I can't believe I've lasted an hour considering how sick I was. I mean, these people had to pull me out of bed. People, but,
I think it revived you.
Hey,
I think you sound better now than you did at the beginning of the show.
I do feel better now than I did an hour ago. That's actually true. I just need a little shot of Mike. That's all.
There you go.
That's a little taste.
A little shot of Greg, and I'm not back to normal. My hell begins as soon as the show ends. Anyway, but let me get back. Let me get back to my hell. Let me get back to my hell. It's a special hell, and things can be worse. I always keep that in mind. As bad as things are, always remember it could be worse. It could be worse. That's gotten me through life this far.
Yeah. Anytime someone starts getting all worked up at work, I say, hey, we're not digging ditches in July.
Yeah. I was watching, this is how bad things are. I watched the documentary about Xanax today.
Oh my God.
On Netflix. Yeah. Do you think I need help?
Mike, stay on the line. Stay on the line, Mike List.
No, but anyway, it was an interesting thing because, I used to hear people talking about Xanax and Zoloft and all this stuff. And I'm like, would that help me? But then just the idea doesn't appeal to me of like changing your chemistry, and that's going to make you happy. It just seems counterintuitive. Let's say that. Wouldn't it be better to sort of learn to cope with things as they hit you? No. Without the medical intervention? I don't know. That's just me. If it helps people, if it helps people, God bless you. But there are side effects, and there's people on this thing talking about going through horrible withdrawals, after spending decades on Xanax. So it is a bit of a,
Well, yeah, but that's extreme. I mean, if you're saying that you're not feeling so great now and may need something, and there's 100% certainty that right now you're feeling kind of crappy, whereas if you go to see a doctor and take something, you don't know what that's going to be.
Right.
It could be shitty, and you're like, all right, I'll just go back to this, or it could be great. Yeah. Right now, all you know for certain is, gee, I don't feel so great right now.
Yeah. Well, I do have access to some Xanax, and I've resisted the urge to take any.
Well, I don't really know what Xanax does other than, like, I get it. I use it if I'm getting on an airplane. That's what I use it for.
You've had Xanax before.
Yeah, I just got some the other day from my doctor because I'm going to England. So
okay, and it puts you right out, right? I mean, apparently,
no, it doesn't.
For some people, it's a sleep aid.
Maybe, but I just take it, pop it when I'm getting on the plane, and it doesn't conk me out, and I don't have visions. It just, I don't know, gives me a little chill. Doesn't make me think this makes no sense. I'm in a metal tube, 8 miles in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. I just chill out a little bit. Yeah, I don't go to sleep. I don't have hallucinations.
But you only take it as needed. You don't take it once a day or a certain amount every day.
Yeah. Oh, just when I'm flying.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it should not exist. It should be banned or anything, but there is a negative side which I wasn't quite aware of. I wasn't aware of like pretty much anything about it. Just that you hear it all the time, and people make jokes about it. And it's like, hey, give me a Xanax, and I don't know what they're talking about because I've never taken a Xanax.
I don't know what else people use it for, but I would say
it's supposed to be anti-anxiety.
Yeah,
it's an anti-anxiety medication.
But at our age, what are you trying to prove? You're tough enough to fight through and cope on happiness for what? They're going to give you a medal?
No, whatever works. I'm not against it being prescribed or anything. I'm not saying it doesn't help people. When I first
started with my Xanax, one time we get on a plane, my brother said, he said, why don't you see if you can do it without the Xanax?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why? What, I have to prove something? No, take the pill, I'll feel better. They're going to give me a prize afterwards if I fight through it and be tough? No.
What is
life is short, bruv. Be happy.
What is the feeling you experience? And it's immediate, right? I mean, they say it's like an immediate feeling.
I literally don't feel a thing.
No, okay.
No. Now that's not, for all I know, if you took half of one, you'd be running around naked in a stable. Who knows? But
so Equus? Are you referring to Equus?
Equus.
You ever seen that movie?
Was it horse porn? What?
It was like one of the first R-rated movies I ever saw. It's a good one. Look for it on your streaming service.
This is a family show. Let's get back to talking about Xanax. So you can
make it. All right, back to Xanax.
But yeah, we're at the age. Come on, life is short. What are you trying to prove? If you can be happy, be happy.
But there must have been a time when you did fly without it.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Right? You would have a panic attack?
No, but I'd be white knuckling. Finally, when I flew to California, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. So I went to my doctor, and I thought, I was very naive about these things, and I'm hemming and hawing, and I feel like I'm meeting a drug dealer in an alley or something. Mm-hmm. And finally, I get around to it, and she's like, yeah, I'll give you some Xanax. And I was like, she's like, everybody takes it. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. So I think probably everybody we know has it or some form of it. And again, I'm not pushing it, and I'm not saying, but there's no medal for toughness once you get to heaven. Write that down. That's going on.
There's no medal for toughness, but you need toughness though.
You need toughness, but I also
you can't live. Here comes my quote of the episode. Mm-hmm. You can't live on Xanax alone.
I'm not saying only live on Xanax.
Okay. Right.
But if that or whatever, makes you feel a little better, mm-hmm. What's the problem?
No, I mean, I have my stimulants that I resort to as a form of relaxation. And it helps me a little bit, I would say. Is it good for me? No, probably it's not healthy.
What's good for you?
Healthy ways to deal with stress.
Blueberries and almonds are the only things left that are good for you.
Blueberries and almonds?
Yeah.
I do like almonds.
There you go.
Back to the food. Do you ever get the Go Cup from the dark chocolate almonds at Wawa?
No.
No? Do you have access to Wawas in Virginia?
There's one in DC actually, which is weird. I don't know why they have one in the middle of DC, but they're coming down here. They're always like a Jersey Philly thing, right?
Well, not even always a Jersey thing. I mean, they're relatively new in Jersey, and now they're everywhere. And yeah, they have a dark chocolate almond in what they call a Go Cup, a small little cup full of them, and they are fantastic. They also have a Cajun mix, Go Cup at Wawa. I recommend. Nice little late night snacks.
Boy, Wawa. I mean, it's not even fair to compare them to like other quote unquote gas station, food stops like Sheets or whatever. Wawa has some great sandwiches.
Yeah, see, I still haven't made that plunge. I mean, I've had Quick Check. I've got a Quick Check in both Bayonne and Howell, and I'm off of their sandwiches. I mean, there was a time where it was convenient. I'd go in there and get one of their sandwiches, but now I can't say they're really good. But yeah, I should try the Wawa sandwich. What's the sandwich to get?
I mean, I probably haven't gotten one in a year, but if I've gone to Wawa 10 times, I've gotten the chicken, like the grilled chicken.
Yeah.
Sub. Very good.
Lettuce and tomatoes.
Yeah.
Ranch.
No.
Mayo.
I'm not a child from the Midwest.
Mayo.
Mayo, American cheese.
American cheese. Oh.
It's it's at the top of whatever list, and second place ain't even close to it.
So. Okay. Keep that in mind. So we just did a segue from Xanax to Wawa. Are you going to get anything like that on any other podcast? I don't think you are. I think we're in our own category at this point.
Don't beg, Mike. Don't beg. Come
on. Should we wrap it up, or should we?
I mean, you're yelling at me that it's a family show, and you're telling the kids there's no Santa, and
get into opioids.
Well, yeah. But before we take off, I'd like to let's give a shout out to some people, if we don't mind. I think Jerry, our friend Jerry.
Yes.
Big shout out to Jerry.
Yeah. He's our inspiration, really. I mean,
I don't want to say the only reason I got out of bed to do this is Jerry. But the only reason I got out of bed to do this is Jerry.
You're not even going to pretend to pronounce his last name?
No, there's no chance I'm going to get that right. Can you do it?
Papadrea.
Papadrea?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not so. Okay, Jerry Papadrea.
Yeah.
And also my little brother, Will, who's listened, I think, to every episode.
Wow. Okay. You got to get him on a show.
Just a shout out to him. I think we definitely would like to get him on the show. He's going to be with me in England. We're thinking about maybe trying something over there, but it might be tough to link up logistically, but we'll talk about that later. See if that could actually happen. And a final shout out to my boy, Donnie Pizza Sauce, who has been listening and sending great compliments to me, and really appreciate it. Appreciate everybody that's been listening. So I would have wished.
I don't know Donnie Pizza Sauce. How is this possible?
Well, I got to know him through Dave and Serge Blanco.
Back
in the 100 Metro days.
All right.
And boy, I hadn't really seen him, Donnie, in I don't know, 10 or 15 years or whatever. But yeah, just connected. He just started listening. And, so yeah, some holiday wishes to Donnie and my little brother Will and Jerry. Damn it, I'm not going to say the name right. Papadrea.
Papadrea.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay.
So a couple of shout outs. And
want to get in some last minute plugs for the holiday
for all the shit I'm trying to push on
this? I hope you're getting some orders. Are you getting some orders?
I'm scared to look. I'll say this. 1 year ago, I said 2022 would be my year.
Okay.
I'm not crying. I'm just trying not to cough. Hold on. Hold on.
It's all right to get choked up. That's another thing I learned in the Xanax thing, is that men should be able to be emotional. Let men be emotional. Don't keep it all bottled up. Come on, guys.
Wait, more bottled up than you do right now, or? I mean, is that what I'm saying?
Where'd you go?
What were, sorry, I had to get some water. I can,
Okay, you were choking.
oh. And in 2022, I released a book.
Yes.
I put out a box set of maybe the seminal album of the 90s, Take My Teenage Head.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's on Spotify. People can listen to that.
Spotify, The Happy Scene, Take
The
My
Happy
Teenage
Scene
Head.
is the name of the band.
That's right.
I listened to your interviews with Will.
Not as good as this.
Yeah,
all the music?
just a little, you can take constructive criticism, right?
Not that well, no, for me, honestly.
But I'm saying, we could have done 15 minutes about the people you played with, okay? No offense, but we're not talking about Led Zeppelin here.
Right.
So I mean, I know some of the people you played with. I like these guys, James and Chris and Keith. I've met them.
Yeah.
I haven't met all the guys you mentioned, but why not some more time focused on the songs themselves? A little background on what inspired you to write Jenny Fennell and different things like that. So, have you well, you're not a Neil Young fan. We learned that last
Okay.
but on his album Decade, in the album was a 3-album set, and for each song he had like a little summary, and it didn't necessarily be about how it was written or anything, but just what inspired the song, little snippets.
Huh.
I thought that might have been something people would be interested to hear.
Maybe that would have been. Thanks for delivering that advice.
After the fact.
Now that it's way too late.
Well,
wait, so you skipped all the way to the Will interview?
Well, I've listened to your music. You've given me tapes over the years. I still have those tapes.
Oh, that's nice.
I still have a cassette player, if you can believe that one.
I do too.
But
and
so
again,
I've heard your music.
I have no problem believing you do.
I think I even have. Did you give me a 45? You had a 45 press?
Oh yeah, the EP was 45. Yeah, vinyl.
Yeah. So I've got the stuff. I've listened to the stuff, but I'm saying you have a whole new audience now, and I thought it might be something they would like to hear.
Oh, you're probably right. All right, that's fair. That's good feedback.
Yeah.
Again, late, but
I'm rooting for you, guy. I'm rooting for you.
So I did that, and I re-released my classic debut novel in paperback, which I don't know why it took me 7 years to do it. Now that I'm thinking about it, and on top of that, I reconnected with my old buddy Mike and started the podcast Egg Foo What?
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying it's the cherry on top. It's more than the cherry on top. It's probably the whole sundae. Since people actually pay attention to and care about this, as opposed to the other things. But so I can't believe I'm saying this, but a quasi-productive year for me.
Yeah.
And
well, I'm glad I could be a part of it, and I'm glad that you're getting a wider audience. I'm glad for all these things, Greg. And I'm having laughs every week, and that's important to me, to keep on laughing.
That's it. Keep on laughing, bro.
When you stop laughing, you're already dying.
Wow. I was going to say
another quote.
I was going to say when you stop laughing, you start dying. But either way, that's a t-shirt, bro.
That's a t-shirt.
Well, that merch store is just getting bigger and bigger by the minute.
Yeah, we got to talk about merch in 2023. I think we're ready for merch.
I think we're ready.
I think the audience craves merch.
We'll have a strategy session.
Are we going to go for the NPR crowd with a coffee mug, or are we going to go with a t-shirt? How about a trucker hat? Do we have a trucker crowd?
Whatever people want Egg Foo What on, and we'll pay for it, they will get. How about that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm grateful for the show. Grateful for the laughs. Grateful that everybody's tuning in, having a good time. I appreciate everybody who's enjoying the show and encouraging their friends to listen to it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, though. You know, that's how we're going to make the big bucks on YouTube.
Ka-ching. That was me making that noise, not you.
Yeah.
Hey, next year.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Everything Mike just said, I agree with. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mike. Thank you to everybody who listens. It's been a great year, and 2023 is going to be even better.
Happy holidays, Egg Foo.
What? All right, a little better.